Hi, sweet friends. It's so good to be with you today. We are in a season of change, awesome change. If you look around outside, the flowers are blooming, the trees and the grass are green and lush. It's a lot different weather-wise than it was even a month ago when we had a lot of rain or even a touch of snow at some point over the last 6 weeks. And there's a lot of things that are happening in our world that are changing as well, right? And then some of you, many of you, would have had your last few days of school in the last week or so. So many things are changing. Change is all around us. And today I wanted to look at and talk about one of the most exciting ways that we are changing and growing and what Jesus has to do with that. But first of all, I have this tool. Does anybody know what this is? What do you think this is? Let me hear it. You're right, it's a little shovel, right? And I use this shovel, and one a little bit bigger than this, when I am doing some planting and some digging in our gardens and in my flower beds. So, I want to take you on a little tour of some of my flowers and plants around our house. So let's take a little field trip together. Let's go. So this is our vegetable garden. And in our vegetable garden, you will see some different tomatoes and squash and zucchini, which are some of my favorite, and peppers, and there's some different beans in here, although something ate the top off a lot of my beans this week. And then there's some Monarda that the butterflies love, so we let that grow. This is our mock orange plant that we got last year, and it's got really pretty blossoms and it smells good. And then here's our peonies, and I love the peonies. You can hear the rustling and the birds this morning, but the peonies are blooming and they smell delightful. Here is our front garden bed in front of our house, and it's got hostas and lilies and astranthia and a poppy and a tree peony and all kinds of beautiful things. And we just got these little guys this year. We thought they were so pretty, almost like a rainbow. And they're all growing. You can hear a little bit of the breeze again because it's kind of breezy today. All right, and there's some of our little purple guys, and you'll see the fuzzies in them because the cottonwoods are dumping their fuzzies right now in the air. So there's lots of cottonwood fuzz on things. This is on our deck, and there's some herbs because we like to cook with fresh basil and parsley and all kinds of yummy things. And here's some more pepper plants that need to go into the ground. These are our earth boxes. So there's some different tomatoes and peppers and chives that are there. And they're growing and they're coming up. Here's some cherry tomatoes, which I'm going to peek in here because we've got one cherry tomato that's ready to eat very soon. This is our hibiscus plant, and I love this one. It won't come back next year. It's something that is not hardy here. But see these little black marks? That is where the hummingbirds take their little feet and attach while they are drinking the nectar from deep inside the flower. So the hummingbirds are loving the hibiscus. And these flowers, each flower only blooms for one full day. But then each day we keep getting more of them. So they are just stunning. So this is one of my planters on the deck. And so those are fuchsias, and there's some pansies and a variety of different flowers in the box. And I loved all the color. I thought they were so vibrant, and loved how they all looked together. I like the pop of color on the deck. And as we zoom out here, this is potting soil because plants need good soil to grow. And so in our pot, we needed to have good soil so that our plants could put down roots. And back here is a water tube. And we fill that up with water, and then our pot keeps all the water that our plants need to grow big and strong. And then, of course, we need the sun to help our flowers grow and our plants grow. I hope you enjoyed a little tour of our flowers and gardens and trees. I love them so much. Let's look at Ephesians 1. Ephesians 1 says, "And you will know God's great power. It can't be compared with anything else. His power works for us who believe. It's the same mighty strength that God showed. He showed this when he raised Christ from the dead." You have this incredible power inside you. The same power that raised Christ from the dead and brought him to life is in work inside you. Now, you're going to experience a lot of changes over the years. You'll probably get taller. If you're like me, it might not be a lot taller, but you'll probably get taller. Maybe you'll get a driver's license or a job. Some of you might grow a beard. All those things are beautiful and wonderful, but they're a little bit small compared to the change that God can work in you. God's power can make a seed and turn it into a flower. His power raised Jesus from the dead. And that is a wonderful thing. So think of what that same power could do in you. Now, that's not just going to happen. Just like those seeds, we need the right things to help us grow. If I take this seed and, it has the power to turn into a flower, and I left it in its little pouch and didn't plant it and give it the things it needed, would it grow? Probably not. If I set it on the couch, would it do what it was meant to do? Nope. It has to be in the right place. It has to be in a place where it has good soil and enough water and enough light. So what are those things in our lives? Because we want to grow not only physically, get taller and bigger and stronger, and emotionally and relationally, our relationships with people and socially, but with our spiritual souls as well. And so we give our souls the things that they need to grow. Good soil, water, and light. And so for us, that's things like time with Jesus and his word, and worshiping, talking to God in prayer, and growing with others around us in community, listening, all those good things that help us to know God more deeply, and in that know who we are and whose we are. And even then it's going to take time. Philippians 1 says, I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. He who began a good work in you. Now, while we try to give our souls the good things, and we want to do those things, right? It's the Spirit of God alive that works in and through us that causes us to grow. God does that. The plant, it grows, right? And it does what it was made to do, to grow and show its beautiful self to the world, to inspire others, to put down roots that grow deep and help it be strong, to change the world. And God does that in you. And that is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Let's take a picture, or let's take a glimpse at our poppies. I have one outside and it just bloomed today. So let's peek at that real quick. Isn't it beautiful? Poppies are unique in that they have a very deep taproot that goes way down into the ground. So it holds them secure, gives them all the nutrients they need so that they can grow and become a beautiful, stunning flower. You know what else grows besides my poppies? You guys are growing. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And I have some pictures that some of you sent me this week. And so let's take a look at some of your faces as you're growing and changing. We even are going to start with Clay, who is busy planting. Let's check it out. It's so fun to see your faces. I love seeing them. And if you want to be in a video, make sure you send me a picture or have your grown-up send me a picture and I will be happy to put it in there. You're changing and growing a little bit each day. And it adds up together, and those changes are taking place in your life. Those are amazing. As you change and the world around you changes, which is happening a lot right now, you can always depend on Jesus to be the same yesterday, today, and forever. And his amazing power is at work in and through you. And that's pretty great news, isn't it? All right, we'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.
Fear not, for I have you, I've called you by